where the question is simply this: can Cork raise their game and dethrone the All-Ireland champions? Will Larry Tompkins defy the gods of time, or will he instead tarnish a great reputation? Well, tight battles between these two counties are, of course, the very essence of Gaelic football. Last year, they came head-to-head in a final. At stake, the National League title.
Fitzgerald knocking one in for O'Dwyer. This is Dennis O'Dwyer trying to beat the other O'Dwyer. Kevin, and he's done so! Off the foot of the post and in. Good ball across to O'Dwyer once again, running to Willie Kirby. Here's Parlay, he's been quiet so far. Nice turn. Knocked into Fitzgerald! And there's a second Kerry goal! And Maurice Fitzgerald has got it! 3 minutes to go to half-time. Good fetch by Colin Corkery. Lobbed in towards Stephen O'Brien. It falls down to Dork, and here's a chance. And the goal! Seamus Moynihan now in injury time. Oh, it spills away from the defenders. It's an awkward day for defending because of the rain. Maurice Fitzgerald going to kick the in towards Neil Flaherty. Here's another goal chance. It's another one!
Yes, victory to the Kerry man on the day. As the summer rolled on, there was to be no comfort in the championship for Cork, dumped by Clare. Kerry, of course, went on to claim the Sam Maguire as well in 1997. Well, now looking forward to this big occasion. With me this afternoon are Tony Davis and Pat Spillane, two men who know exactly what a football match between Cork and Kerry really means. Tony, from your own playing days, what exactly is it like to be in the dressing room 10 minutes before you run out onto the pitch on a day like this?
I think, first of all, Killarney is a very special place for any Cork and Kerry game. I know it's not the Munster final. We kind of say straight away it's the Munster final, and it's not. Yeah. But it's very special. You walk up to the game, and even the build-up on the way up and everything is fantastic. Inside in the dressing room is very, very tense. You have done all your preparation. You hope everything will go well, and you just think of what you're going to do yourself. But there's a very special rivalry between Cork and Kerry on and off the field all through the year, never mind a game like today. And I suppose it's an awful thing to say, but it's as close to a religious experience as a lot of these guys are going to get in the next 12 months.
I thought you were going to say some other kind of experience for a second. Pat, I'm sure you would agree with all that.
Well, I did. I mean, my first 10 Munster finals were 10 victories over Cork, so I've nothing but very pleasant, very pleasant memories about it. Either celebrating in Killarney or celebrating in Cork afterwards. But you talk about Larry Tompkins there at 35. I was 36. I remember I got man of the match against Cork. So time doesn't. I don't think age is a factor in this case. If you're good enough, you're good enough. You're good enough.
Well, yeah, I'm going to come on to Larry Tompkins in a moment, but Tony, obviously you have direct interest in this, the brother Don playing in the match. You were talking to him last night. What's the feeling in Cork?
Well, I think with all the lads, I think they feel they have nothing to lose. Obviously, Kerry won the All-Ireland in the league last year and they're the foreign team, so they're just going to go out and take the game to them and hope everything goes well. But people sitting at home have no idea what it's like to be involved in something like this. You have your whole family, the nervousness of all of them, your fellas you played with, people you work with. It's a huge circle of people that are wishing you well and everybody hoping everything will go well on the day.
It's not Larry Tompkins' age that's the problem here. He's still only in his mid-30s, and he was still kicking football, as he reminds us, at that time. But it's the mileage on the clock and the fact that he's been out of the picture for a little while.
Yes, he has. But I suppose, Michael, I think he's there by right. If you look at the Cork County Championship over the last year and this year, I think if you were to pick the top forward in the county last year and this year, it would have to be Larry. The only thing I was thinking was that he was manager. But he's after handing the reins over to Conor today on the sideline, and no better man to hand it over. Conor is cool and calculated, and if there's a decision to be made, I'm sure he'll make it. Sure. And I can see Larry working very hard today, working way back in the defence. He's picked that centre forward, I'd say he'll go back.
Okay. All right. Well, great tension, no doubt, in Killarney for this match. Great excitement too, you can be sure. And our reporter in Fitzgerald Stadium, and looking forward to the game, is Kieran Malooly.
A newly developed Fitzgerald Stadium here in Killarney provides the setting for the 86th meeting of Cork and Kerry in the Munster Senior Football Championship. Good afternoon and welcome to the Kingdom, where £1.2 million has been invested by the Kerry County Board and the Munster Council in the provision of new facilities here, and bringing the capacity of the stadium this afternoon to over 43,000 people. We couldn't have a better occasion to christen the new facilities, the meeting of the All-Ireland champions Kerry and their old rivals Cork. Conor Coonhoon, you come into the Lions' den, as it were. This is a huge game for Cork, obviously.
Obviously, having gone out of the championship in the first round last year, certainly we're not contemplating going out in the first round this year.
What about the team before you today? Any problems, any injury problems facing into the game?
No, we've been very fortunate. We've had a good clear run. We've had a number of niggling injuries, but all of those were tested during the week, and thankfully all the boys are in good form.
Now, you're in an unusual situation in that your team manager is playing today. So who exactly is running this Cork team?
Yeah, well, I think, a lot has been made of that as such. I mean, we've always operated on a team basis there. Larry was the manager, obviously, but the rest of us always had a good contribution, and Larry always looked for that. So basically today there isn't much of a change. Paddy, myself and Barry are on the line. Larry is on the field, so he doesn't have any input and hasn't had any input in the last 2 weeks since we decided that we were going to play him. He's backed off and taken his priorities on the field as the most important thing.
So you're calling the shots?
Well, we're calling the shots.
Tony O'Keefe, obviously the first day out to retaining in your efforts to retain the All-Ireland champs, it's a huge occasion for Kerry football.
Yeah, it's a huge occasion anyway, the fact that Kerry and Cork and Killarney, it's particularly more difficult the fact that it is our first game. We haven't had a competitive game since March, and it's a long time and very difficult time to hold a team in preparation. So it's very difficult to gauge how things will go, and in that sense it's going to be very difficult for us. First game out in the championship is always difficult, and everybody knows that, whether it's a first round game or a semi-final.
What of the state of the Kerry team going into this game? There's even been a rumour this morning in the grounds that Maurice Fitzgerald may not be 100% fit going into this match, if he turns out at all.
Oh, Maurice Fitzgerald will be playing, there's no doubt about that. There's always niggling injuries coming up to, after the long, hard, intensive preparation, and Maurice unfortunately a slight shoulder strain, and it's no more than that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, the Kerry team without a fully fit Maurice Fitzgerald would be a different proposition altogether, wouldn't it? Well, next we're going to take a look at some of the players indeed to watch from this game, and just for good measure, we've switched things around a little bit between Pat and Tony. Tony is going to run the rule over the Kerry squad. His selection first.
The classiest and most complete player of modern football, Maurice is something special. He's got pace, balance and accuracy with both feet. Here against Mayo last year in the All-Ireland final, those who doubted his character got their answer. He can kick with his left leg, under the stand in the All-Ireland final and straight over the bar. Maurice makes football an art form, as we can see here against Cavan in New York. Gets the ball back, and from that angle he shouldn't even try, straight over the bar. It wasn't hard to find highlights of Maurice last year. All you have to do is pick out any tape of any game, and there he was. Seamus Moynihan. If I was picking the 6 best backs in the 32 counties, Seamus would be my first name on the team sheet. He's a very good all-round footballer who sacrifices his own game for the good of the team. Here we can see Kerry against Tip last year, Kerry's sternest test. And when they wanted somebody to stand up and be counted, there he was, winning balls in front of Declan Brown. Tip's danger man, and he's not afraid to put himself above.
OK, well, that's what Tony thinks about the key men in the Kerry team. Now, if Maurice Fitzgerald is not fully fit, or if there's any little problem about that shoulder, you can be sure that'll be tested very early on in this match. Well, now, Pat Spillane has had many a close look at the stars of Cork football over the years. His pick of his present team now.
Mention of Mark O'Connor, and one is immediately reminded of a certain incident back in August of '95 in the All-Ireland football semi-final against Dublin. O'Connor slips, J.O. scores, and a legend is born. That one costly mistake should not take from the fact that, with the exception of last year, O'Connor has been one of the game's best and most consistent of full-backs. A very intelligent player who reads the game very well. He is one of the fittest players on the Cork side. Today he has the unenviable task of putting the shackles on Kerry danger man Maurice Fitzgerald. If he can do that, then Cork could pull off a big surprise. Cork may have problems with their forward line, but this certainly does not apply to Joe Kavanagh. Easily their best and most consistent forward. He's a pacey full forward with great vision and a very accurate scorer with both left and right foot. He was outstanding in this year's league campaign. And now that Colin Corkery has been sent into premature retirement, he has become the team's #1 free taker again. He could pose major problems for Kerry fullback Barry O'Shea today.
Yes, the view of Pat Spillane there on the Cork selection. Well, now it's very close to the time that the teams are coming out onto the pitch at Fitzgerald Stadium in Killarney. Our match commentator there this afternoon is Ger Canning, and I'm sure Ger also very much looking forward to this great occasion.
Absolutely, Michael. We're just now waiting for the Kerry team, who are being given the nod, but it's time for them to come out onto Fitzgerald Stadium. Tony O'Keefe there, the County Secretary. Sean Kelly, of course, is the Munster chairman. Pictures being watched everywhere and anywhere, and I'm sure that wonderful selector Bernie O'Callaghan, who was in charge with them last year with Paddy and the rest of the team, is watching this at home. You're wished well from everybody in the backroom team, I can tell you, Bernie. And now it's just a matter of seconds. There's a tremendous atmosphere here. Kieran Malilly was saying over 43,000 people. It's an absolutely wonderful setting, a splash of colour. Cork taking up the area way to our left-hand side, but it's a mixture of red and white and green and gold, as always in Munster football. And of course last year we were denied this because of Cork's inability to get by Clare in the Munster semi-final. So the Munster final that was expected to be in Killarney wasn't, and so today it's the Bank of Ireland football semi-final. There's a guard of honour just outside this dressing room area being provided by the schoolboys of Cork and Kerry. They had a junior match here at 12:30. It finished all square, and now we wonder just how this afternoon's match is going to pan out. Kerry, the All-Ireland champions, the hot favourites. That junior match was 11-11. It's Cork who've decided to come out onto the field first. Joe Kavanagh going through the picture. There's a wonderful reception for Cork. Dr. Con Murphy, Sean O'Halpine, who'll be one of the subs this afternoon. But even in adversity, the Cork fans travel here in huge numbers. There must be 20,000 fans of the red and white here in Killarney. Many of them have made a weekend of it. And it's that kind of setting. It's always good for business as well. Cork's major team news, of course, the selection of player coach Larry Tompkins at centre-half forward, where he began his career with Cork 11 years ago. Mark O'Connor is back in the fold in the full-back line, having missed the National League campaign. Championship debuts are given to midfielder Damien O'Neill and corner forward Alan O'Regan. And now it's the turn of the Munster and All-Ireland champions, the Kingdom, coming out here to a tumultuous reception. Eamon Breen passing through there. The man will be operating at left half back this afternoon. Kingdom fans have travelled here in their thousands. The last time they had the pleasure of seeing Kerry as All-Ireland champions against Cork was back in 1987. Not a great year for them that year. This, they hope, will be a much better one. They start today with Tomás O'Shea, the under-21 star, at right corner back. Otherwise, it's the backline that began last year's All-Ireland final. Donald Daly replaces the injured William Kirby in midfield, while the most notable switch up front is that of Dara O'Kineda on the 40. Frontline talent hardly gets much better than Maurice Fitzgerald and the youthful Mike Frank Russell. There are 4 changes in all from last year's All-Ireland lineup. It's the Kerry team which took a lot of criticism nationally last year for not being the usual Kerry standard, which curiously sounded like an indictment of the other 31 counties rather than Kerry. People, of course, have called it a one-man team, which is quite an insult, I feel, to a lot of quality players like Seamus Moynihan and so many others. And this, the great man himself. He had a slight shoulder injury which he incurred on Friday last. There was also a bit of a doubt about Pa Lade, who's had back trouble, but that's been a niggling injury with him over the last couple of seasons, and it hasn't prevented him being a great ally and foil for the wonderful Maurice Fitzgerald, picked to play at top of the left. And what about Larry Tompkins? His last match played in the championship was against Dublin in '95. In Tullamore in 1981, he made his debut as a sub for Kildare and the Leinster champions. He's played 10 championship matches for Kildare and now 26 for Cork. Quite a record. Will it be Larry's big day? Or perhaps Tomás O'Shea from Ungaeltacht, son of Mike, and of course brother of Dara, nephew of the team manager, the great Paddy, who's brought the All-Ireland title back to the Kingdom. What a reception they're all getting here in Killarney. Fitzgerald Stadium resplendent. Dara ready to lord things at midfield, but it will be tough for them. There's a good pairing from Cork in there as well, in Damien O'Neill and Pat Hegarty. And Stephen O'Brien there with a black eye which he picked up in an injury in training 2 weeks ago down in Cork. But as they say in the backroom team, that's nothing unusual if you know Stephen O'Brien. So everything then in readiness, and we'll be back here for the throw-in, which is timed, of course, for 2:40.
Yes, training obviously fairly intense down in Cork in the lead up to this big match. OK, well, as you can see there, it's getting close to throw-in time in Killarney. First, we have a commercial break to take, so join us again very shortly. Very shortly. Pat, by the way, you've been making money out of this Cork crowd. There was a big crowd of them down at the pub last night in Temple No.
I have over the last 2 days. You tend to get a lot of Cork people in the bar prior to the Munster final. So I did 50 in the Shannon Farmers on Friday and 40 of Mitchelstown Football Club last night, and they gave me a hard time, a lot of slagging, but I said I didn't give it up me as long as I was taking money off them. So it's not alone a pleasure to be beating Cork on the football field, it's an even greater pleasure to be taking a few bob off them.
Good, Tony, let's get back to this match again. OK, Larry Tompkins, we were admiring the fact that he's come back and gotten fit. He's always fit, mind you, Larry is. But the point is, he hasn't played for Cork for 3 years, and surely it's a comment about the state of Cork football that if Larry Tompkins has to come out of retirement to shore up the attack.
Yeah, I suppose if you were to look at you couldn't pick any other centre forward in Cork with Larry. And as you said there, Larry has been injured up to last year. This is the first year this time of the year that he has been fit. And I suppose what Cork were lacking all along was leaders. And if you look right through the middle of the team, you have Brian Corcoran, Stephen O'Brien, Larry and Joe Kavanagh. They would be Cork's most senior and consistent players, and it is those people we're looking for to try and get the match out of the fire today.
But there's I see no problem with Larry being selected as a player, but I do see a problem in he's obviously been a very good player in Championship football this year. He's been excellent with Castlehaven. But it's a bit like you, Michael, leaving your rally car and getting a drive with Jordan. It's a big step up in standard from club championship to county. And I think the biggest problem he has is in this dual role. I mean, it's very difficult to concentrate. It's hard enough to concentrate on your own playing role for a day. Now, I know he's not supposed to be involved as a manager today on the field, but consciously or unconsciously, you're going to be concerned about how your team is going, where there are problems, and certainly the history of player managers in any sport is not good. And you see what happened to Val Daly last year.
Sure.
It's a case of falling between two stools. Val failed. Now it's a big gamble. If Cork win, okay. If Cork lose, irrespective of whether Larry plays well or not, it's been a massive failure. And the bottom line is in Irish sport, Irish sporting followers, Cork football followers, Kerry football followers are a very, very fickle lot indeed. The 20 years or 15 great years of service are quickly forgotten.
Sure.
It's the last game.
Yeah, by the way, we saw the toss there a moment ago. Kerry have won the toss. Would there be any preferences then, Pat, in Fitzgerald Stadium as to which way they'd like to play in the first half?
Not really, because with only one small stand there, it's fairly straightforward, the wind, and Kerry usually have a policy of playing with the wind and trying to build up a good lead by half-time.
Right. OK, well, there's the setting then in Fitzgerald Stadium for this match, and a beautiful setting, of course it is, in Killarney. In some of the matchups around the field, Tony, and some of the head-to-head, how do you see it working out?
Well, I suppose the most important one from a Cork point of view is Mark O'Connor and Maurice Fitzgerald. I wonder how fit Maurice is. I know if he was fit, there wouldn't be a word spoken about, so there must be something wrong with him.
Sure.
Now, Mark has done very well on him down the years, but the one tendency Mark has is to foul, and with this new rule coming in of where the personal foul and all that, Paddy Russell is reffing today, and Paddy is fairly quick to note all that. So that anything like that, and Mark could get the line. There could be 14 men playing. You have Stephen O'Brien and Dara Canada. Now, Dara is released from his he was kind of prisoned in the corner, and when he's outside, Dara's a beautiful footballer. I watched him under 21 as he developed all along, but his form over the last 2 years has been very poor. Now, they've given him the freedom out around centre forward, and I think that'll suit him a lot better. And then you have, I suppose, Barry O'Shea and Joe Kavanagh again. Like Joe Kavanagh is probably going to have to be Cork's chief scorer today if Cork are going to win. And Barry O'Shea has come on. He's been Kerry's answer to the full back, but that'll be another very interesting duel.
Are Cork going to win this, Tony?
My heart says Cork. All form indicators and all that say Kerry, but I'm afraid it's personal with Cork and Kerry, and my heart rules my head, and I think Cork are going to win.
When Kerry are the All-Ireland champions, Pat, it's easy side with them, but have they got the stuff for this year?
Well, they felt they didn't get a lot of credit for winning the All-Ireland last year, and now they feel that they have a lot to prove critics wrong within the county and around Ireland. On form, they should win it. I'd like to hear Tony's half talking there, but I think Kerry are going to win.
Okay.
Unbiased opinion, no.
In his biased opinion, that's the view of Pat Spillane and Tony Davis on this match. The parade is about to begin down at Fitzgerald Stadium, so let's go back again to Ger Canning.
Yes, the parade is about to begin, as you say, and it is Kerry, as you heard, who have won the toss, and they are in fact going to play against the wind for the first 35 minutes. Absolutely packed terraces here. 44,000 people anticipated to be here this afternoon, and down underneath us here, the new Michael O'Connor terracing, named after the former secretary and chairman of the Munster Council, and up here, of course, wonderful commentary position and camera position as well. Well, it's 9 weeks, you know, since since the All-Ireland Football Championship actually began. And two of the significant names in football, Martin Carney, are finally getting their big day. The All-Ireland champions and their greatest rivals from Cork.
Very true, Ger, but I think it's a case of keeping the best wine until last. We have waited a long time, I think, this year to get a classic game in the championship. A lot of the games to date have been exciting and interesting, but today perhaps we'll get a game laden with quality. And you know, when you look at the way both teams are structured, Cork have gone to a lot of trouble in bringing back players, in the case of Larry, restructuring their team. As against that, you know, Kerry are settled. At worst, we'll hope for an interesting game, at best a possible classic.
Yes, indeed. So Larry Tompkins then taking the opportunity to take on board a little bit of liquid. It's a huge day for him. People are saying it's a huge gamble that he's taking, coming back. Everybody remembers him. I think his presence here has probably put another 5,000 people on the gate, in fact, as people want to see, is he the Tompkins of old, the man who made his championship debut with Cork in 1987 against Limerick, starred in 2 matches against Kerry that particular summer, winning back the Munster Cup for Cork? Or is he just at this stage a man who is still physically very fit, but not with the pace of the championship action any longer? That's one of the big questions, and he's one of the big gamblers. Kerry, by comparison, have a slight doubt about Maurice Fitzgerald, but it's a very slight doubt, and I think we'll probably see him flying in this match, although this year, because he has missed a couple of months in training because of an injury during the winter, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the other lads, maybe Parlade, maybe Darrow Kinnady with his new positioning on the 40, these might be the people who would in fact bring Kerry on. And that's the setting there in front of the Cork Road end of Fitzgerald Stadium, a most wonderful stadium at this stage. And as they come down in front of us here by the Michael O'Connor terracing, named in honour of a wonderful chairman of the Munster Council and a member, of course, of the grounds committee here as well. How about that for a splash of colour? You could be anywhere in the world. You could be at a World Cup championship match anywhere. But it's down here in Killarney, one of the most perfect settings for a game of football imaginable. That's Brian Corcoran, of course. Big question is, will he get the task this afternoon of marking Maurice Fitzgerald and maybe not Mark O'Connor? That is one of the imponderables. The Kerry jerseys are new this year. I don't know about you, but the numberings on the back are a little faint to my liking. But we know most of the players well by now, and so we should. And so they move along here. The full-back there, Barry O'Shea. Liam O'Flaherty just got out of picture. Liam, who may be marking Larry Tompkins. He was man of the match, remember, in the National League final in Cork last May, 12 months. And he might well have been man of the match. He was my second man of the match, I have to say, in the All-Ireland final after Morris against Mayo last September. So the sides are going back into their positions. Two teams who know one another so terribly, terribly well. Maurice Fitz moving forward into the full forward line. Up alongside him, number 13, Frank Russell on the opposite side. So far, just 2 men gone forward into the Kerry inside forward line. And of course, Joe Kavanagh will have so much depending upon him. 11th season playing in the championship. Starred and started as Cork's free taker in 1992 in that championship meeting against Kerry. And that was the day that Cork had just 2 wides in the second half. And both of them were from penalties. Larry Tompkins and Joe Kavanagh have switched positions. Larry's gone in full forward, marked by Barry O'Shea. Joe Kavanagh's come out onto the 40, marked by Liam O'Flaherty. The tactics begin already. Maurice Fitzgerald has gone across to top of the left, and he is at least starting on Mark O'Connor. Now, you heard in the preamble to this that Mark has had a little habit of committing too many personal fouls, as most people call them. I know that reference isn't in the current rule book. Used to be at one stage, however. But we all know what's meant by that element of fouling, and we know how referees are trying to stamp it out. Agus Anish, Aurán Levian. There's always a touch of the meeting of the clans when Cork and Kerry meet in the Munster Championship. All the more so because the teams never met in last year's championship, as Kerry went on to win back the Sam Maguire Cup. The referee in charge this afternoon from Tipperary, Paddy Russell. County Tipperary, of course, awaiting the winners here. That match will be in Thurles. Both Munster finals scheduled for Thurles this year. By the way, it's Seamus Moynihan on Don Davis. That's another one of the moves that we were anticipating. And in fact, I had a feeling that Ronan McCarthy might start on Seamus Moynihan, but that's not the case. Match underway, and Darragh O'Shea straight away for the Munster and All-Ireland champions. Trying to get it forward there. This is Johnny Crowley in on the baseline, trying to do something with it here. First chance dragged down just outside the large rectangle. And Crowley already showing us just how he's been in recent weeks, very lively, and the referee is in quickly to take a name, and that's Owen Sexton.
A very confident start actually there by Kerry. The way the ball first of all was fielded by Darragh O'Shea. Beautiful ball into John Crowley, and again a lot is expected from him today. And you know, from a Kerry point of view, he's been a wonderful underage player. Hopefully from there he'll fulfill it today.
So here's the first chance then for Maurice Fitzgerald, playing in his 28th championship match. Should be very routine for him from the 13-metre line. He claps it over the bar, and there's a huge cheer. The St Mary's man puts his side in front. First attack, first free, first chance, first point. And this is what happened here. Mike Frank Russell was involved as well, and Johnny Crowley there taken down, and it was very nearly inside that rectangle. Larry Tompkins has switched back out, by the way, to the 40. Gamesmanship early on. Beautiful transfer again. Breaks down, however. Brian Corcoran has it to Don Davis. Don, a very good link man. Nicely with the outside of the boot towards Aidan Dorgan. Dorgan against O'Shea. Back here again to Cronin. Going forward strongly, Martin Cronin. Looking for the equaliser, and he's dragged down. Eamon Breen commits the foul. Paddy Russell's in quickly, and the notebook's out again, and there's another name taken. Two attacks, two names taken.
Again, a very interesting contrast in the style of attacks both teams are adopting. Cork in that case, very, very patient build-up, resulting in the free. Kerry, in contrast earlier, much more direct.
It'll be Joe Kavanagh from Nemo Rangers to swing this one between the posts and over the bar. So the first two attacks yielding scores coming from frees. Kerry a point, Cork a point. And this was the incident here. It was a swiftly directed movement here involving Martin Cronin. Breen came across the other number 7, down he went, and the referee has shown straight away that this kind of fouling is going to be stamped out. Larry Tompkins, as we mentioned earlier, has switched back out onto Liam O'Flaherty, allowing Joe Kavanagh to go back into full forward, where he's been marked by Barry O'Shea. Stephen O'Brien beaten from the air by Darragh O'Shea. Up towards Mike Frank. Back in beautifully here. Moynihan going for the score himself, stopped by Brian Corcoran. What a start to this match, full of pace, full of incident, full of action. That's Damien O'Neill. Very good footballer, showed up well in the National League final against Kerry last year. Ronan McCarthy, playing in his second championship match, came on as a sub against Clare last year. Free to Cork, taken quickly by Kieran O'Sullivan. Don Davis over there, linking up with Ronan McCarthy. Usually plays in the back line or in midfield for his club Douglas, the Cork Intermediate champions. The bad ball out of defence by Mark O'Connor. Realised it as soon as he hit it, but it comes good for Cork because of Dorgan's alertness and swiftness off the blocks against Tomas O'Shea. Dorgan trying to get into a shooting situation. It's dropping a little short, but it goes over the bar. Alan O'Regan was coming onto it. This is a youngster with a very, very good season last year, Alan O'Regan. Starred with Beara, starred also at under-21 level, so senior and under-21 medals. Dorgan kicking this one in, and O'Regan arriving bang on time.
Could have easily been a goal there, actually. I think Stephen Stack was caught ball watching there, and that ball could have easily ended up in the net.
Well, every attack so far in this match, which admittedly is only 4 minutes old, has yielded something in terms of excitement. Damien O'Neill jumping here with Darragh O'Shea. Should be quite a confrontation. O'Neill winning it. All capable of dominating the exchanges at midfield. Ronan McCarthy dragged back down there by Darragh O'Kineda. In towards Alan O'Regan again, getting quickly away there from Stephen Stack, running into his own man, however, holds on to possession. Stack trying to close him down. Players calling for it. This is taken by Pat Hegarty, the Garda based in Glanmire. The kick by Hegarty has gone to the right. Very first wide for Cork. He's been played during the winter quite a bit up at full forward, which had been a problem position for Cork all through the national leagues.
The feature to date actually has been the fielding of Darragh O'Shea and the actual speed of both teams. The Kerry build-up in particular is very, very brisk, very incisive. Cork are much more patient, but equally as effective.
People having to attune this afternoon to a kick-off at the very early time of 2:40 and a packed house at Fitzgerald Stadium. Declan O'Keefe kicking. Remember, he's kicking against the wind in the first half, and that was by choice because Kerry won the toss. Breen again. Now Darragh O'Kineda. Much expected from him on the 40. Maurice Fitzgerald fumbling. O'Connor was in quickly. Ball touched on the ground. Fitzgerald in some distress. Footballer of the year in just about everybody's books last year. Paddy Russell just making sure. I think as he went to ground here, just collided. This was the tackle coming in. That's where the boot went. Liam O'Flaherty playing well at centre half back. Up it goes towards Mike Frank Russell, challenged by Sexton, booked already. Mike Frank still going forward. The youngster kicking, and it's a lovely point. Sides are level. Michael Francis Russell. Well, already he's showing us here what pace and penetration he possesses against Sexton, who could be in trouble against the youngster. Michael Maguire playing in his second ever championship match. The last was 10 years ago in the All-Ireland semi-final against Monaghan. That was a push in the back by Eamon Breen. Damien O'Neill wants to get the ball back quickly. Referee telling them back you go. Dennis O'Dwyer also pointing the finger back in the general direction of the Cork goal. Towards Larry Tompkins, beaten for it by Liam O'Flaherty again. Up towards Maurice Fitzgerald and Donald Daly. Daly laying it off towards Pa Lade. Lade challenged by Martin Cronin. Kicking into space. Mark O'Connor getting out there. Maurice Fitzgerald into challenge. The boot ahead is by the man at full forward, Crowley. And again, here's problems with Dwyer coming in, and this time the referee again indicts the defence. Dennis O'Dwyer taking up a very good position. An animated Paddy O'Shea on the sideline, up and down encouraging. Right now he's encouraging his backs, I can tell you.
To date, actually, a couple of things are noticeable. It's 8 minutes nearly gone. Larry hasn't touched the ball. In fact, I think he's too anxious. He's looking for things everywhere. And Liam O'Flaherty has won the first couple of confrontations with them. And the width and the orthodoxy of the Kerry forward line is beautiful to watch.
Maurice Fitzgerald, second kick, second point. Kerry go back in front again. 3 points to 2. Well, this the incident over here, as it was Dennis O'Dwyer this time popping up and tripped by Brian Corcoran. Maguire's kick out towards Pat Hegarty, and again it's Liam O'Flaherty coming across and anticipating, just getting there ahead of Larry Tompkins. Darragh O'Kineda. Oh, it's a wonderful block down that time by Martin Cronin. Some wonderful skills in this match. This was O'Flaherty and that was Cronin. Wonderful timing and commitment. Moynihan's sideline kick. Pumped in there towards the Kerry forward line. This is Owen Sexton trying to win possession. Beaten for it again by John Crowley. The layoff towards Mike Frank Russell. Not a good one. He had no real chance of that. He was fouled on the back as he was trying to get that ball out. And the back in question, Martin Cronin. Down to Don Davis. Aidan Dorgan, man from Granada. Well, we've had some break-up in pictures. We apologise for that, as Paddy Russell comes to take the name of Tomás O'Shea. And the referee has been very busy so far. 3 names have been taken. That's gone into Tomás O'Shea's man, to Aidan Dorgan to kick and to score. Teams level once again. Aidan Dorgan's first point. Level for the 3rd time. Kerry 3, Cork 3. Wonderful pace to the game.
Yes, in relation to that also, that's the 3 full forwards actually on the Cork team have scored at this stage. And Don Davis of the half-forward line seems very, very busy and is giving actually at the moment Eamon Breen quite a lot to do.
Declan O'Keefe to kick this one out. Swinging away to that left-hand side, touchdown by Darragh O'Shea. Now Ronan McCarthy again, who has started prominently. It's a huge day for him. Conor Coonahan there in the background, the team doctor as well, just having a look at one of the Cork players. It's Ronan McCarthy. This was Ronan trying to make some headway, tripped. Ball's gone deep into the Cork inside forward line, punched out that time by Stephen Stack. Liam Flaherty going low to pick it up, winning some very good breaking ball. Now Daly. Great ball up towards Crowley. Got support, Mike Frank Russell. Maurice Fitzgerald's come near side. Popping it inside towards Dennis O'Dwyer, taking up a wonderful position. Kieran O'Sullivan trying to block him. Easy one for the goalkeeper. Swiftly distributed outside there to Mark O'Connor. Now Brian Corcoran. Larry Tompkins. First time he's really managed to get on the ball here. Been a bit anxious early on. Kieran O'Sullivan, captain of this Cork team. Back to Tompkins, who's coming deep to get on the ball. It's a huge one down towards Alan O'Regan. One-handed away there by Stephen Stack. Good shoulder coming in from Dorgan. Good composed play by the Kerry defence. Tomás O'Shea getting it out here again as far as Donald Daly. Daly was excellent in the Kerry Championship last year. Played superbly with East Kerry. This is Seamus Moynihan. Stopped by Don Davis. Great block by Don Davis. So that's 2 very good blocks that we've seen made on that side of the field. 2 sides prepared to roll up the sleeves this afternoon and really work for their victory. Nobody anticipating getting anything quite lightly. That's broken down here towards Darragh Kineda. A real prodigious talent if he can get going. Saved by Maguire. Damien O'Neill coming to take it, the Cork midfielder. Hardly time to draw one's breath in this match. Ronan McCarthy trying to go by Eamon Breen. On to Damien O'Neill. His training programme has been interrupted by injuries in recent times. That's Kavanagh beaten for it there by a very determined Barra O'Shea. Darragh O'Shea. Stopped by Owen Sexton. Trying to settle down now after a very uneasy start. Had a bad first 5 minutes. Getting away well. Sexton from Kilbrittain. Watching Aidan Dorgan advancing against Tomás O'Shea. Back to Owen Sexton. Here's Joe Kavanagh. Barry O'Shea, his marker. This one from Kavanagh is just about 3 or 4 feet wide of the left-hand post. And that's the 2nd wide now for Cork.
In general, it's noticeable the game has been played at an absolutely blistering pace. Both teams, as a credit to their fitness, they're playing the game very, very openly. The ball's been moved quickly, it's been moved to space well, and it's, to date, actually, the first 13 or 14 minutes of it are probably the best football we've seen this summer.
Yes, smashing contest so far. It was overcast here by and large this morning, but the sun now coming out. And it's such a wonderful backdrop here, the mountains of Mangerton there and the Weeks as well. It's a lovely place to come to watch a football match. Declan O'Keefe. That's Darragh O'Shea winning that contest there. Expecting support to come his way. Still O'Shea being forced to carry. It's a great ball forward, which is cut out by Sexton. Well defended by the number 4. Mike Francis Russell was just in behind him. It comes to Larry Tompkins. 65 metres out from his own goal. Hand pass towards Don Davis, difficult one to take. Good shoulder from Moynihan. Don Davis turning on. Inside towards Ronan McCarthy. Going forward, getting support here. Alan O'Regan's coming onto it. Stopped by 2 Kerry men in the end. He has thrown that and pushed his way out of trouble there, and the referee says free downfield. This is what was happening here. That's where the foul occurred. Free to Kerry. Declan O'Keefe from Rathmore, playing in his 9th championship match. Conceded 5 goals in 8 championship matches so far, which is a very creditable record. Swung up there towards Darragh O'Shea. Against Damien O'Neill, he's won the last 2 very good balls against him. Inside towards Mike Frank Russell, fumbled. Owen Sexton back out again for Cork. Kick to the centre, Liam O'Flaherty. Larry Tompkins trying to close him down. Back to Eamon Breen. The hand pass was his first thought, going direct for the second one. Sexton breaks it down, but this time Mike Frank Russell is challenged by Cronin. Gets the chance the second time on the left boot, swinging it in here. Crowley's in after it, fumbled. Plenty of players back there to defend for Cork. Comes back out towards Dennis O'Dwyer. Now Maurice Fitzgerald trying to sell a dummy. Well blocked there by Martin Cronin. The hand pass out by Kieran O'Sullivan. And here comes Mark O'Connor. Aidan Dorgan judged the bounce well against the youngster Tomás O'Shea, playing in his first championship match. Dorgan still going on. Awkward angle for a right-footed kicker. Just a little too awkward. Hadn't the confidence to kick with the left.
No, he hadn't got the confidence to kick with the left there, but he's actually giving Tomás O'Shea on his championship debut quite a torrid time of it. And I said earlier actually that Don Davis is giving Eamon Breen. I should have of course said he's marking Seamus Moynihan, and he's giving Seamus plenty to do. So the right wing of the Kerry defence, which is normally very, very strong and depends a lot on Seamus Moynihan, is not getting into the game as much as they'd like.
So it's going to be a kick out for Kerry. Seamus Moynihan, so much expected of him. He's the kind of player you can put into so many defensive positions, but he launches so many attacks as well. Not so far today. It's Larry Tompkins. This time getting more into the match in the last 5-6 minutes. Back to Kieran O'Sullivan. Kieran O'Sullivan still going forward. Slightly off balance as he hits this one, and that's gone wide. He was protesting to the referee that his jersey was being held back.
And I think he had a case in point actually there, because he was held back initially, but I think Paddy Russell let him go.
This is what happened here. It was Daly coming onto it there, the midfield player. Well, their players are going to need every possible little rest that they can get in between the various kickouts. And Seamus Moynihan from Glenflesk, of course, marking Don Davis this afternoon from O'Donovan Rossa in Skibbereen.
I think the two teams will be glad of that little breather there for a moment, because the first 17 minutes of him played at a huge pace altogether. There's great rhythm and flow to the game. And one of the things that has been noticeable so far, the quality of fielding by Darragh O'Shea. He's fielded 4 of his own kickouts wonderfully well, and it's a skill that's lovely to see in the game.
I think the message to Declan's very clear, but he's protesting that when the other ball went out, a replacement ball was kicked in. When that came back, he kicked the other one out, if you can follow me. Paddy Russell has got his message across. Across towards Darragh O'Shea, starting splendidly. This time it's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. It's Damien O'Neill. Kicking it in towards Joe Kavanagh. Fisted away from him, however. That's going to be a free kick. Joe Kavanagh's going in. He's been spoken to, and the notebook's out once again. So 2 from each side now, with the names taken so far in this game. That was where Darragh O'Shea was dragged back. I think the referee's getting his message across, and to the players' credit, they are responding, and there's a great flow to the match. Two sides that always have the height of respect for one another. Kieran O'Sullivan jumping for this one, but it breaks back towards Dennis O'Dwyer, his man. Inside towards John Crowley, coming deep, coming away from Brian Corcoran. Kerry setting up another attack here, parlayed. And that's gone away to the right. I think he'll always be remembered for that wonderful performance he put in the Munster final against Clare last year, and that terrific goal he scored in the early stages of the second half.
So Joe Kavanagh booked for Cork, Owen Sexton booked for Cork, Tomás O'Shea and Eamon Breen for Kerry. Bit of a break in the scoring pattern in the last few minutes now. Martin Cronin down towards Joe Kavanagh, getting out there ahead of his man. He's a good leader of the attack, showing for everything. Now Larry Tompkins tried to sell the dummy, does so against Liam O'Flaherty, steadying himself, going for the score, and Larry Tompkins has scored. It's the first point for Larry Tompkins. He scored many points against Kerry in championship matches. This will delight him. He's a player who got 29 points against Kerry in his first 5 championship games, and here's another in 1998. It's 4 points to 3. It was the sidestep that made it, however, and Joe Kavanagh's catch initially with the lovely layoff. Larry Tompkins again, breaking this one down, but this time breaking it to the opposite number 11, who is Dara Okineda. That bounces away there from Owen Sexton, doing a marking job on Mike Frank Russell. Stephen O'Brien, back to Mark O'Connor. Cork playing with the wind for the opening 35 minutes. That's beautifully caught there by Don Davis, and the jersey was pulled by Seamus Moynihan. And the referee says back there is where the free kick should be taken. The notebook's out once again, and now it's Seamus Moynihan who's having the name taken.
Well, the referee's been absolutely consistent here. You can see here Seamus Moynihan certainly pulls Don Davis's jersey, and the players should have learned by this stage that if you're going to pull jerseys, he's going to book you. But a couple of things that are noticeable. Cork have settled very well in the last 10 minutes or so and are now getting on the ball.
Liam O'Flaherty has to fumble this one because he was challenged by Larry Tompkins. Don Davis picking up the pieces. Martin putting that one in there. Martin Cronin to Joe Kavanagh, and Joe Kavanagh lets this one go over the bar. That's the second point by Joe Kavanagh. The Cork fans are the happier against the All-Ireland champions, but playing with the breeze at their backs. They have a 2-point lead. It's 5 points to 3. But remember that Seamus Moynihan won the toss. He had the option of playing with or without the breeze. It's a stiff breeze, and it appears he'll be a lot happier with Kerry having that wind at their backs for the second 35 minutes in this Bank of Ireland Munster semi-final. Conor Coonahan, the acting manager as it were. Pat Hegarty fisting this one down. A lot of broken ball. Eamon Breen playing it back to Tomás O'Shea. Now Donald Daly, tidy player. Dara O'Shea can be more explosive in his actions. Don Davis winning it back to Ronan McCarthy. Good work by McCarthy, but he's held on to it too long, and it was O'Dwyer who was in quickly. And Dennis O'Dwyer taking the shoulder now from Mark O'Connor. What a contest we're getting here. Ball was touched on the ground by O'Dwyer, but it was the shoulder by Mark O'Connor coming in there after his team had lost it.
That's a real sickener. It's a skill you seldom see executed as well as that, but Mark O'Connor that time absolutely sickened Dennis O'Dwyer with that one.
The kick by Kieran O'Sullivan in towards Joe Kavanagh. Kavanagh causing problems for the Kerry inside forward line and their fullback in particular, but this time that fullback Barry O'Shea wins it back. Now Seamus Moynihan, Dara O'Shea, Donald Daly for Kerry next. Good controlled play by Daly. Kerry wanting a score from this attack, but that's just too far ahead of Mike Frank Russell. He's got it, however. Did well to pick it up, did well to kick, and he's done well to score. A second point from Mike Frank Russell. The Kerry sub-selectors, mentors, very pleased with this youngster who already has a senior under-21 medal and a senior medal itself. Not a bad record for the last 12 months for Mike Frank. Kick out taken by Michael Maguire of Castlehaven. Stephen O'Brien. Pat Hegarty. Back to Larry Tompkins. Hegarty once again. Down towards Joe Kavanagh. And this time it takes O'Keefe to come from the goal and link up with Barry O'Shea, the fullback. Tomás O'Shea on for Liam Flaherty. Donald Daly available once more. Great possession football by the Kingdom. Parlayed. Now they come looking for the equaliser. 24.5 minutes gone into the first half.
this match live from Killarney. That's a great dispossession there. And the ball was picked on the ground. Brian Corcoran there and Martin Cronin very nearly dispossessing Kerry.
I think Martin Cronin did wonderful work there in the way he was able to dispossess him in that case there, but then Brian Corcoran, unfortunately from a Cork point of view, came back and picked it off the ground. So it's food and drink now to Maurice Fitzgerald, put that over the bar.
Well, even the slightest mistake by either team is being punished. That's the kind of game it is. So Maurice Fitzgerald, third free kick, third point. And the sides are level for the fourth time in this thrilling Munster semi-final. And we've got some news from the sideline now from Kieran Mullooly.
Paddy O'Shea has actually rearranged his full forward line. Mike Frank Russell is now playing at full forward. John Crowley has moved out to the half, and Palade, as far as I can see, is playing in the corner.
Yes, and this is Darrow Kineda, and he's got John Crowley just to his right. Drop kicking it in towards the man you were talking about, Mike Frank Russell. That's Sexton in there, troubled by Mike Frank the whole time. Swings across towards Maurice Fitzgerald, does well to keep the ball in play. Good work by Fitzgerald. Oh, an audacious kick. And that has just gone wide, but it would have been a wonderful point, because there are few around this country who would try a kick like that other than Maurice Fitzgerald. Second wide for Kerry. Another player might have made a bit of an angle for himself. There was almost no angle at all there.
No angle at all, and I think he was a little bit unlucky. I think the ball actually went over the post.
So it'll be Eamon Breen to kick this ball in from the sideline. Score of a very memorable point some years ago here in Killarney against Cork. Kieran O'Sullivan going back to try and deny Dennis O'Dwyer. On towards Ronan McCarthy. Stephen O'Brien. Level pegging. The low ball inside towards Joe Kavanagh again. Good quality ball, trying to give the full forward a decent chance of getting onto it. And this time he was fouled. Well, he's a very willing competitor, Joe Kavanagh, comes for everything, and Barry O'Shea only too well aware of that.
As you've mentioned there, the quality of the ball that's going through to the inside line in the Cork team is very good. In fact, the quality of passing both sides is of a very high standard, and that ball again to Kavanagh from his clubmate Stephen O'Brien, again possibly is what brought about the foul.
Well, you were saying before this that we were looking for a really good match. We're getting it. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan. Referee just going in. Is he planning to consult with one of his umpires? We've already had 5 names taken in this match. And Tomas O'Shea's been one of those. So he looks like he's off. And Kerry look like they may be a man down. It was the umpire who brought it to Paddy Russell's attention. But is it perhaps the second foul committed of the 3? Maybe that's what the referee has indicated.
I think this is one of the situations where you need a card. He was certainly spoken to earlier, and most of us thought he was booked. That time he was booked, all right. But I think a card would clear up all that difficulty.
That's wonderfully fielded back there by Donald Daly. And Kerry will be very thankful that they're not down to 14. Dennis O'Dwyer punting that one ahead. It's John Crowley who's come for it. Challenged by Mark O'Connor, the referee says more than challenged, unfairly challenged, fouled indeed. Mark is protesting and the referee says forget it. And again the referee has taken out the notebook and has indicated that he may be marking in the name of Mark O'Connor. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan sweeping it up there. Owen Sexton. Stephen O'Brien. Pat Hegarty there. The ball was moving. It's picked up here by Martin Cronin. Kieran O'Sullivan has an option. Ronan McCarthy opting to go long down into the corner towards Alan O'Regan. About 5.5 minutes to go to the half-time break. O'Regan turning into challenges. Damien O'Neill started well, but has allowed Kerry's midfield to dominate quite a bit. Ronan McCarthy again outside of the boot inside towards Don Davis, and that time Don was fouling Seamus Moynihan.
And Kerry are preparing one of their substitutes over there, just perhaps as a precaution to...
One thing is noticeable at the moment, actually. I'm just beginning to question Palade's state of fitness. He looks very laboured in his running and doesn't seem to be going for balls unless they're absolutely to his advantage.
Lade now being marked by Owen Sexton, as you can see. And Lade playing at top of the right. Mike Frank in at full forward. His marker is Brian Corcoran. Damien O'Neill breaking this one down. Kerry get the decision. Kevin Walsh over there, also Paddy O'Shea, the Kerry Bonnistower. I'm not sure if Tony O'Keefe is about to write the name of a sub who may be about to come in. We'll check on that in a moment. The ball spills back here to Don Davis, beating Palaid to it, hampered by a back injury going into the game. And he was a real doubt, of course. Here's Aidan Dorgan. Support from Martin Cronin. Support here from Larry Tompkins. 1 point already. Tompkins kicks, but this time it goes to the right. 5 wides now for Cork to match the number of points they've had so far. And the match is still tied up at 5 points apiece. This is where Martin Cronin played it on for Larry Tompkins. He had to hit it instinctively. Damien O'Neill, Darragh O'Shea, one-handed by O'Shea. He was being held off. Ronan McCarthy indicates that he's not pleased with the decision against Damien O'Neill. Brian Corcoran one-handed to Stephen O'Brien. Out as far as Ronan McCarthy again. Towards Joe Kavanagh, this time favouring the back, but Joe Kavanagh goes in to challenge. Barry O'Shea bending his back, picking this one up. It's Alan O'Regan who's got the challenge there on him. Darragh O'Shea next. Comes off a Cork man. It'll be Kerry possession. He really is a terrific runner, Darragh O'Shea, up and down the park.
He's having a super game for Kerry today, actually, and both teams now have got the measure of one another. Scores are short, to be honest with you, but at the same time the quality of general play is very, very good.
It'll be Eamon Breen here playing in his 19th championship match to put this one, but he really puts it in too high altogether. Comes back again to Donald Daly. Now John Crowley. Better ball towards Palaid. Sexton alongside him. Drilling it in towards Maurice Fitzgerald and Dennis O'Dwyer. Breaks away towards Damien O'Neill. Challenged by Mike Frank Russell. Here's Brian Corcoran, the Cork full-back this afternoon. Pat Hegarty. Nice ball down towards Alan O'Regan, who's come away from the top of the right position, taking Stephen Stack with him, leaving just one man down. That's Joe Kavanagh. This is Dorgan. They need to get the ball in early. Back to Larry Tompkins. Tompkins appreciating the possibilities to Don Davis. Don Davis trying to go through the heart of the Kerry defence. Moynihan putting in the challenge, but to no avail, and that's kicked over the bar. And Don Davis with his first point. And now 5 of the Cork forwards have scored in this game, and Cork have gone back in front.
A noticeable trend throughout the field, actually. The Cork team are working very hard for one another. They're running very hard for one another. Kerry, okay, last year depended a lot on Maurice Fitzgerald, and I think this shoulder injury that he's supposed to have carried into the game is certainly restricting him today, and the other forwards aren't making up the slack for him to date.
We got a glimpse there of some of the Cork selectors, Conor Coonahan, Barry Murphy and Paddy Sheehan. Here's Darragh O'Shea getting out to the ball again. He's playing a terrific match, and an intelligent ball forward towards Crowley once again. Prepared to go low, work hard. Here's Darragh Kinnaida coming onto it, 20 metres out. This looks promising. Stopped by Brian Corcoran. In again comes Darragh Kinnaida, and it ends up going out over the end line for a 45. There's a Cork player down, injured. Seems to be Ronan McCarthy. Attended to there by Martin Cronin, but that was a real moment of excitement here. That rasping shot there by Darragh O'Kinnaida, stopped by Brian Corcoran, and in the follow-up action it went out over the end line, but for a 45.
I think he's taken quite a hard belt there in his ankle, but just referring back to Darragh O'Kinnaida there, that's the second time he's cut through the middle and he's gone for goals from about 20 metres out. He might have been better advised to put the ball over the bar in each case.
I can remember Darragh O'Kinnaida about 2 seasons ago almost destroying Cork at under-21 level, practically on his own. I think he got 2 goals and 3, 2 goals and 4, something like that.
Yes, but his switch out to centre half forward actually I think has improved, has given him a better chance to kind of display his skills.
It was Ronan McCarthy going in, by the way, there on Mike Frank that stopped all of that. But it does give, as you say, Darragh Kinid a bit more latitude. So Maurice Fitzgerald bringing it beyond the 45-metre line. And here's a chance for Kerry to draw level. Seconds before half-time. Into the breeze, which has dropped just a little to judge by the flags on the ground. Still quite swirling breeze if you look at the national flag away to the right. Referee just telling Larry Tompkins to get back the requisite 13 metres. Fitzgerald kicks low in there, stopped by Mark O'Connor. Doing strong defensively. Stephen O'Brien outside to Brian Corcoran. The hurler come footballer. Has very little football played this year because of his hurling commitments. Stephen Stack wrestled by O'Regan. He'll get the free kick.
Again, if the referee was consistent there, I think he should be booking Alan O'Regan. And even though, as I said earlier, Ger, the scores may be scarce, the game has been hugely enjoyable coming up to half-time now.
21 scoring chances so far, 10 for Kerry, 11 for Cork, and you can see that it's Cork 6, Kerry 5. And John Crowley comes on to take on Brian Corcoran again, turning back into Mike Frank Russell, hitting instinctively. What a forward he is! The Michael Owen of Gaelic football. That's a third point for Mike Frank Russell, and they're level for the 5th time, and it's into injury time. Crowley the provider, and Mike Frank Russell has the confidence to kick from any distances and from any angle. So we're now well into injury time, and the referee halts a most enjoyable opening 35 minutes here at Fitzgerald Stadium in Killarney. It's Kerry who might be marginally the happier because they'll have the breeze at their backs for the next 35 minutes. But the Munster and All-Ireland champions are having it put up to them. Half-time score here in Killarney, it's Cork 6, Kerry 6. And they race away down for the words of advice from their respective coaches and managers. But overall, a wonderful contest, full of passion and commitment. And we can go down and join Barry Murphy.
Yes, indeed, Barry Murphy with me on the sideline. Barry, 6 points all at half-time. What's the view on the Cork bench?
I think we're in a small bit of trouble in midfield. We're going to have to work on that at half-time. But Kieran, in general, we've done very well with the limited supply ball we got into the forwards. But not doing so bad so far, but a few things to work on at half-time now.
Any disappointment? The manager, Larry Tompkins, perhaps not as effective as he might have hoped?
Hasn't been as effective so far, but I mean, there's another half to play for, 6 points all. So it's all to play for in the second half. So we're going to give it a go.
Barry Murphy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We'll be back here, of course, in just a few minutes' time.
Yes, it was always going to be interesting between these two sides down in Killarney, wasn't it? That's the way it's turned out to be in that first half. Pat, real tight stuff.
Yeah, great start, great opening 10 minutes. The game, I think, dropped a lot, dipped a lot after that. Like George said, I think was it 21 scoring chances and just about a 50% return. I thought Cork erred a lot in that first half by not playing the ball long. When they moved the ball long, one or two occasions, particularly Joe Kavanagh got a point, Larry got a point, and it was long ball. I thought they're trying to play a lot of short ball through the middle of the field, a lot of ball going through Larry, perhaps a mistake. Big surprises is that Kerry dominated midfield, and the major talking point from a Kerry point of view is that only one forward scoring from play, and Morris, the start of last year, very, very poor today. Two balls he's got from play.
Tony, from a Cork point of view, how do you see it?
I think Cork will be happy enough at half-time. Now, as Pat said, they played a lot of long ball, or they didn't play a lot of long ball. I think a good player will play it as they see it. If it's on, you let it go. If it's not on, you play it short. I think that's the essence of any good footballer, to make their mind up on the day. Now, a long ball going into Joe Kavanagh was fine, but Barry O'Shea is a very good footballer, and I think it has been 50-50 between Barry O'Shea and Joe Kavanagh in the full forward line. So you have to vary it a little bit. Now, it's nice to see 5 of the Cork forwards scoring. And that's a good sign, because that hasn't been happening, and all the talk coming into the game is if they'll score, they have a chance. Big trouble at midfield. Darragh O'Shea is having an absolute blinder, and in the second half they'll have to break the ball there and win the breaks. In the back line, Mark O'Connor is doing very well on Maurice Fitz. Maurice Fitz isn't in the game. Owen Sexton is in a lot of trouble with Michael Frank Russell. He got 3 lovely points on his left leg, and something will have to be done there. Owen's attitude will have to change. He'll have to live inside in his togs for the second half and cut off his oxygen and don't let him near the ball, because he'll win a game on his own. He's that type of player. But overall, happy enough. But I think Kerry, it's, what is it, 5-all, is it at half-time?
6-all at half-time.
6-all at half-time. They're going in, playing with the wind, and with the full forward line Kerry have, like, you nearly have to say at this stage that they have the upper hand.
OK, more on what we've seen in that first half after this commercial break.
While some other car insurance companies have gone home to roost, Guardian Direct are still helping you find lower-priced car insurance 8 to 8 every weekday and 9 to 5 Saturdays. It's all part of the service because we cut costs, not corners. Call Guardian Direct now on 1850 282820.
Appearances can be deceptive. And it takes a very special kind of person to see past your appearance to who you really are. But then, this is not just an airline. This is Aer Lingus.
Of Ireland Football Championship.
In any game, there's only one winner. Berger Paints. Looking good, lasting longer.
The day Elvis died, now that was a shock. I'm not saying I wasn't shocked when I heard about this, but when it comes to the topmost shock I've ever had, it has to be the king passing away. On a scale, I'd say Elvis dying tops. And then my wife telling me she was pregnant with little Aaron here. But I am shocked that the cost of car in the US and Canada is just 19p per minute at the weekend. Still, Elvis, tops.
This July 4th weekend, give someone a call in the US and Canada for just 19p a minute.
The big surprise is the great value.
Bovaclox DC Extra, the long-acting dry cow therapy from Norbrook, gives you up to 70 days protection. Bovaclox DC Extra, powerful for reducing cell counts.
Now when you insure your car or home with Guardian Direct, we'll give you the reassurance of a 24-hour claims helpline 365 days a year to help you sleep a little better at night. It's all part of the service because we cut costs, not corners. Call Guardian Direct now on 1850 282820.
Andrew, welcome back again. Plenty of activity, of course, in all 4 provinces in Gaelic games today. Up north in the minor final there. The result of that minor match between Antrim and Derry was Antrim 3-9 and Derry 8 points. Those two sides, of course, meet in the senior final this afternoon as well. And Croke Park, the big one this afternoon, the Leinster hurling final between Offaly and Kilkenny. That's a match, of course, you can see live after our football match here on RT television. In the minor game there at Croke Park, Kilkenny lead Wexford. The score at half-time was Kilkenny 1-6, Wexford 1-4. As I said, that senior match between Offaly and Kilkenny is our second big game of the afternoon. For a word on that now, let's go over to Croke Park and Micheál O'Donnell.
Approaching the end of the Leinster hurling semi-finals, it appeared that Offaly and Kilkenny were going out of this year's championship. Offaly needed an injury-time miracle from Johnny Dooley to overcome Wexford, while Kilkenny were losing by 3 points to Laois with just 7 minutes left on the clock. However, such adversity brought out the best in both teams, and it is they who line out today in the Leinster final, guaranteeing their supporters at least one more day out after today. The winners go directly into an All-Ireland semi-final, while the losers get a second bite of the cherry and a place in the All-Ireland quarter-final.
Yeah, so a lot at stake then, obviously, for both counties at Croke Park today. The Kilkenny manager, Kevin Fennelly, will be hoping that his side can do it today. He's talking to us now.
Kevin, there's been a lot of talk about the back door, people demeaning the importance of today's occasion, but surely that won't happen between Kilkenny and Offaly.
No, not today. I mean, we haven't beaten Offaly since 1987 in the Leinster final, so to me the Leinster final is very important. And against that, I think that to know the real strength of your team, you need to be able to beat Offaly, and Offaly need to be able to beat us to prove that we're good enough to go on and take on the Munster champions or the Connacht champions, which is a daunting task in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that as well, that one of the factors which could play on the minds of the players today is that the eventual losers could end up facing a tougher draw later on in the competition.
Yeah, that's the way it seems. I didn't put too much interest into what it's like, because I come here to win, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. But yeah, that's the way I see it, that the losers will end up getting the tougher side of the draw, and that's the way it should be.
It's probably no bad thing that you struggled a little bit against Laois.
No, I mean, a lot of people were probably playing down the fact that Laois are better than people thought they were. I said all the time that Laois weren't the puck of a ball away from Wexford or Offaly or Kilkenny, and I think that's been proven over the last 4 or 5 years. But until Laois make the breakthrough, they won't get the credit, and if they keep going the way they're going, it won't be long to make the breakthrough.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
And that, as I said, is our second live match later on here in the afternoon. Now, just clearing up one thing in Killarney, by the way, in the first half, only one player has had his name taken in that first half. That's Tomás O'Shea, the Kerry cornerback. The rest have been warnings and so forth. It's very, very difficult to know who has their name taken and who hasn't. This new initiative is going to need further clarification, I think. Looking at... sorry, what was that again? I've missed that, Morris. Okay, yeah. Looking at what we saw there, Tomás, in that first half, and making that point, or Tony, I should say, making that point about the clarification as to who has their name taken and who hasn't. This is going to need a little bit, as I said, of further tweaking.
Yes, without doubt. Even if you were playing today and somebody went up and took your name, you wonder whether you're booked or not. And for people watching the game here and at home, it's very, very hard to know who's booked. And as we saw there with Tomás O'Shea, we saw at the start his name being taken down, and then we saw him being booked. Now, if there was some indication, even as was suggested, even if they held up the book, I know the GA won't be going with the yellow and red card. I suppose it's going back, it's too close to soccer, and nobody wants to be associated in the jail with soccer, so they say anyway. But even if they made some indication to the fact that it was booked, then everybody would have a better idea.
OK, let's come back to the match, Pat. We've seen 35 minutes of football, and the evidence of that, are Kerry good enough now to take this match today and go a step further in the championship?
I'm sure Paddy and his selectors would not have been very impressed by that first half by Kerry. OK, the Kerry defence coped reasonably well with the Cork attack, but remember, Cork forwards, 5 of them scored from play. He will have been very, very happy with the contribution of his nephew Dara at midfield. His other nephew, Tomás, is in trouble with Aidan Dorgan. He will be very worried about the forward line. Morris looks out of it today. He doesn't look... He's certainly... The reports of an injury, I think, must have proved correct. Similar with Palliate. He's been affected by an injury for a number of weeks, and he's certainly not the Palliate of last year. Now, only one forward scoring from play is a very worrying statistic. Still, nevertheless, if they can control midfield and dominate midfield, the Kerry forwards have carved out some goal-scoring chances. OK, they haven't capitalised on them, but they look more capable of scoring a goal than their counterparts on the Cork side.
I suppose in fairness to Morris Fitzgerald and his colleagues in the attack, if the supply of ball isn't going in there to him, and if midfield are not going well, as they are not, it's very difficult to do something with the ball you haven't got.
Well, I beg to differ with them, Michael. The midfield are hammering the Cork midfield, so they're certainly winning.
No, but the quality of ball along that left wing is not going in.
It's reasonably. I think a lot of the Kerry attacks have broken down, that they've over-elaborated, they've created an opening, and they've taken the wrong options. Dara Kinnear now twice carved open the defence and just carried the ball too far on one occasion, and on the second occasion went from a goal from 21 yards out. Now, goalies aren't going to be beaten in Gaelic from 21 yards out.
OK, gentlemen, well, as you can see, both teams are back out on the field for what is certainly going to be a fascinating second half. As ever, Paddy looking determined and I presume a little bit perplexed at some of what he's seen in the first half. Let's go back again to Ger Canning.
Thanks indeed, Michael. Yes, both teams are coming back out. In fact, Cork were the first back out. During the half-time, the Fitzgerald Stadium Committee here and the Kerry parents and friends of the mentally handicapped in Kerry made their first presentation following the Kerry lottery, and that was a car to Olive Sheehy of Whitebridge Manor in Killarney. Congratulations to her. So we're just looking around to see whether or not there are in fact alterations, and I've noticed that Amos Fitzmaurice has been introduced into the Kerry team. He was one of the under-21s this year, and Tomás O'Shea is the one who's made way. Clearly he was in some trouble. Eamon Fitzmaurice, who played at midfield during the wonderful under-21 success enjoyed by Kerry, beating Laois in this year's All-Ireland final. So as we're about to start this second half, regarding the bookings and so on from the first half, we really are in a position up here of second-guessing what's going on, and perhaps it really is a case of introducing some kind of a card system, be it a green, white and orange card. Who cares? Better system of clarification is clearly necessary. Kerry now with an injured player down following the first piece of play for the second half, with Dennis O'Dwyer here hitting it deep down towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Going across there, Mark O'Connor. Picked up by Martin Cronin. There's still attention being given to an injured Kerry player. Cork build through Pat Hegarty. Donald Daly is the player down injured, I can tell you. Joe Kavanagh has it. Now Damien O'Neill, 45 metres out. Inside towards Alan O'Regan. Bounces away off the legs there of Stephen Stack. This is Barry O'Shea. Now Liam O'Flaherty dominating the exchanges at centre half back. Up towards Dennis O'Dwyer. Kerry's midfielder Donald Daly still receiving attention. Looks quite shaken. Meanwhile, it's Ronan McCarthy. Sides level at 6 points apiece. Kieran O'Sullivan scored a great point here for Cork a few years ago. And that's going to be another name taking. And here come some of the fans from the end line out onto the field. And this is because there's such an amazing attendance here this afternoon. And the name of Dennis O'Dwyer has been noted. I can't say it's been taken, just noted. Now there's the player, the referee has given a card with all the names on it, so he goes across and ticks the name as the indiscretion occurs. It can be somewhat confusing. But what's not confusing right now is that Cork have the free, and it'll be Joe Kavanagh to take it. Still people coming in at the opposite end to which Joe is kicking. And Joe has kicked it poorly for Cork, and it's gone wide. First wide of the second half, and the sixth in all for the Leesiders. Well, I can't be sure whether or not the various stewards down at the opposite end have decided for safety reasons to allow the people in here because of the amazing amount of people at the back. We'll have to get a clarification on that. Donald Daly's okay. Been marked in midfield by Damien O'Neill. At least all the people coming in are prepared to just sit down and enjoy the match. And the afternoon being carried out in a wonderful spirit of sportsmanship and true entertainment. Sideline kick taken inside here towards Pat Hegarty. Larry Tompkins. Inside towards Damien O'Neill. Cork coming looking for the lead again. Playing against the breeze. Joe Kavanagh, having missed the free, sells the dummy to Barry O'Shea. The hand pass inside towards Damien O'Neill and a poor ball back. And that's gone wide.
The second half actually has started. Cork have had plenty of possession, and they're going through the Kerry defence at ease, but they're not putting the scores up on the board as they should be. And Kerry don't seem to have come out of their traps at all in the second half. They seem to be dead in the field.
This was that attack just moments ago here. A little 1-2 that just failed to come off. The numbers didn't add up. That's Donald Daly. Challenged here by Larry Tompkins. That's kicked ahead there by the substitute, Eamon Fitzmaurice. Down it goes. Maurice Fitzgerald's in after it. Here's a chance. Stopped by Maguire. Very good save. Linking up with Kieran O'Sullivan. But that was a goal chance for Kerry. That should have been number one. Here's Pat Hegarty. Challenged by Parlade. The man who went off for Kerry, remember, is Tomas O'Shea, the newcomer. Stephen O'Brien. Up towards Joe Kavanagh, again coming out. Ronan McCarthy, inside towards Alan O'Regan. Drifting away from goal, however. Only Dorgan to aim at inside. Against Stephen Stack, picking it up a second time. This is a man who, if he's given decent ball, could cause a lot of problems to the Kerry defence. Again, the Kerry defence standing strong. Breen was there, Lade is here this time. Turning back into a whole group of players. Stephen Stack comfortably getting that one out, but out over the sideline. The Kerry defence that time showed us their industrious nature, worked hard for one another. Here's Stephen O'Brien, laying it outside here to Damien O'Neill, 45 metres out, motoring through, stopped well. Back it comes to Larry Tompkins, against O'Flaherty. That's going to the left. And in spite of the best efforts there by Alan O'Regan, that has gone wide. This was the goal chance at the other end. Good goalkeeping. It was Maguire who held his nerve on the right boot, got it away. And Cork have just introduced that very tall midfielder, Nicholas Murphy. And going off has been Damien O'Neill, who has little training done in real terms in the build-up to this particular championship because of injuries. Murphy has played throughout the league campaign. Here he is, number 19, beaten in the air by Darragh O'Shea, but the picking up job done there by Stephen O'Brien to Pat Hegarty. On towards Cavan again, this time he's grounded. Barry O'Shea, the player who was involved with him. It's going to be a free to Cork, and it's Kieran O'Sullivan who's coming up, looking like he may be the one to take it.
This is actually a very important free for Cork. Like, they're playing 6 minutes now in the second half. They have been dominant completely, apart from that one chance that Maurice Fitzgerald missed. And, like, I mean, they need to start putting it up on the scoreboard, though.
Well, he's kicked from distance in the past for his club, for his division bearer, and for Cork. This is an important one then, that sails up into the air, hits off the post, comes back down to Eamon Breen. And Kerry still level with Cork in Killarney. Nicholas Murphy picking this one up, having the vision to pick up Stephen O'Brien. Outside of the boot, he lays it along the line there towards Ronan McCarthy. Eamon Breen coming in to try and challenge. Larry Tompkins next. And it hits off his knee. Liam O'Flaherty goes in after it quickly. There was a push, and it's going to be a free downfield. Kerry are the happier because of the actions there of O'Flaherty. This was O'Flaherty getting away from Larry Tompkins, but there was contact made. So 43,994 have made it in here into Fitzgerald Stadium. A huge attendance, a much improved ground. This is Darragh O'Shea. Donald Daly coming in next. Nicholas Murphy trying to get in a challenge, doesn't succeed in doing so. That's a great catch by Mike Frank Russell. Back to Parlade. Lade's shot is high, but it's gone to the right. But what about the quality of catching just moments ago there? We'll have a comment on that in just a moment. In the meantime, let's go down to the sideline and to Kieran Mullooly.
Considerable problems behind the goalway near the dressing room end of the ground, Ger. I can tell you that about 250 people have now come inside the wire and are on the sideline behind the goals. This is a result of overcrowding on that terrace. I gather up to 200 left at half-time, went to the terrace, went to shops. When they returned, their place was gone. They pushed down to the front, and the people in the front were literally forced. They had no option, they told me. They were forced to climb over the fence and get onto the pitch for some safety.
Well, they'd have had 50,000 people here if they could have managed it. Meanwhile, Cork are trying in vain to stop Kerry going forward. That's Crowley, and he's kicked that one over the bar. John Crowley from Glenflesk, his first point. And after all of the Cork pressure at one end, Kerry come down, their second attack of the half, and John Crowley puts it over the bar, and Kerry are in front.
I noticed one thing there. Mark O'Connor was arguing with the referee after that, because I felt Mark O'Connor was fouled actually by Maurice Fitzgerald just before John Crowley put that one over the bar.
And the lead has changed hands on 5 occasions as Kerry may be about to make another change. O'Flaherty inside towards Fitzgerald. Mark O'Connor's beside him. Stephen O'Brien. Out it comes towards Martin Cronin. This is Parlade towards O'Dwyer. Oh, unable to catch it. Comes from his hands to the waiting Brian Corcoran. And that's a double hop. The foul by Brian Corcoran. That free kick inside towards Mike Russell again. Beating Sexton to it once more. Eamon Breen. Kerry now trying to turn this possession into another score. Dennis O'Dwyer is swinging away to the right. Darragh Kinnaid is in there trying to get after that one. Back it comes here towards Parlade. This is inside towards Crowley. Got that point a little while ago, looking for another. He's been sharp in training, and now he's showing us his sharpness out of the field as well. A second point by John Crowley as Kerry play with the breeze, try to turn the screw on the Cork men, and with deadly finishing like that, they've opened up a 2-point lead.
And all of their scores actually have come from the full forward line. Either Lade Kanaja or Dennis O'Dwyer have managed to score yet, but they're all working very hard though.
The kick out to midfield. Nicholas Murphy breaks this one down, but he breaks it to the waiting Dara O'Kaneda. Towards Mike Frank Russell. He's a winner. Beautifully laid off. Kicked inside towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Awkwardly enough, taking it first time, and it's gone to the left and wide. 4 wides now. And Cork also considering making a change here, and it may well be that Donagh Wiseman from Castletownbere will be in the action. Indeed, is coming in with that little slip of paper. He's a defender, a back, and he could be in for Sexton, who's in trouble against Mike Frank Russell. Cork in trouble right now against Crowley. It's still Crowley. They've got men inside waiting for it, and that challenge in there by Mark O'Connor. Kerry are wondering what the referee says. Play on. On they do, and it's Ronan McCarthy back there helping his defence. He's worked everywhere. Martin Cronin. Cork were level with Kerry all the way through the first half. They started brightly, didn't take their scores, and now they're in trouble, and there's going to be another booking. And we just wonder about the change that they're about to make. It looks like it's Owen Sexton who indeed is about to make way, and Donagh Wiseman from Castletownbere is coming in.
What surprises me is that it has taken them, whatever it is, 46 minutes to make that change, because clearly the quality of play coming from Michael Francis Russell today should have necessitated an earlier change by Cork.
Here's Liam O'Flaherty. Down towards Crowley again. He's enjoying a great second half. His dad, of course, a former Kerry star. Stephen O'Brien this time winning possession. Liam Flaherty still chasing after him. Larry Tompkins has gone deep, and that's given the chance for Flaherty to play right into the Cork half of the field. Meanwhile, now Cork coming looking for their first score of the second half. Pat Hegarty, great shoulder. That was Fitzmaurice coming in there to hit him that time. Into Kieran O'Sullivan. Cork again trying to take it in. And Kieran O'Sullivan making contact with Dennis O'Dwyer.
Cork are having to work that little bit harder to make their openings than Kerry. They're running with the ball. Their intricate short passing is doing fine. But, you know, it's now gone 12 minutes in the second half. And I think at this stage, you know, they need a score quickly to give them a renewed confidence. With less possession, Kerry have managed to get 2 scores. Cork need this one now badly, and Joe Kavanagh's last free went wide. Hopefully from a Cork point of view he'll score this time.
Well, the referee had the notebook out again there. Dennis O'Dwyer, we thought booked in the first half. Clearly that is booking number 2 of 3 presumably. Joe Kavanagh has the free. This is a crucial kick to keep Cork nicely in it. He's done exactly that. A 3rd point for Kavanagh. 1 from play, 2 from frees. And now the scoreline here in Fitzgerald Stadium reads Kerry 8, Cork 7. It's a tight match. And the crowd here from behind the goal at the Cork road end, as it were, looking on, being very orderly. Well, it's no more than you expect from the good people of Kerry and Cork when they meet in a Munster Championship match. Out on the field, it's Nicholas Murphy who hits that one, but back off Fitzmaurice. Comes across here towards Eamon Breen. Kerry now having the force in attack to really threaten the Cork defence. John Crowley again, and the umpire says a point, much to the annoyance of goalkeeper Maguire, but it's a 3rd point for John Crowley. This was Maurice Fitzgerald who just got a little vital touch to that to keep the momentum of the attack going, and Crowley is in deadly form this afternoon. Yes, 3 from 3, Martin.
Yes, indeed. Brian Corcoran is having a torrid second half, and John Crowley, that's a 3rd from play. And again, like with one member of the full back line gone, I wonder just who has the Cork management to go and bring in a 2nd member.
This time Murphy takes it down to Martin Cronin. Now Stephen O'Brien. On it goes towards Nicholas Murphy again. To Pat Hegarty. Plenty of tall players. Into Don Davis. took his score well in the first half. Aidan Dorgan, they need a little bit more from him, looking to get something. And that time he takes too long. I think he was going for the free, he didn't get it. Eamon Breen wants the ball back, and Seamus Moynihan says, just take it easy, we're leading by 2 points here, and we've got the wind, and there are 15 minutes gone in the second half. So Declan O'Keefe, who's become a very consistent factor at the back for Kerry. They may alter their full back line from time to time, but he's been ever present. Darrow Kineda. That's across towards John Crowley. Back again towards Palaid. Probably anxious to get it on his left boot. Martin Cronin alongside him, trying to keep him out there on the right. It's inside towards Mike Frank Russell. Spills away. Cronin's done well. Good defending. He was patient. Stephen O'Brien towards Don Davis. Pat Hegarty. Here's Ronan McCarthy. Back towards Don Davis. Took it well. Took the shoulder. Held his balance acrobatically. He's got Nicholas Murphy to his left. Dorgan ahead of him. Larry Tompkins wanting it. Tompkins expecting the challenge to come in, and that's hit to the left. He hasn't the accuracy of Yore, that's for sure, but still working as hard as ever in the Cork colours, Larry Tompkins. Just gone to the right, not much in it. Again, the referee is in there noting. This time it's Alan O'Regan.
Yeah, he's taken Alan O'Regan's name. I think that time after the ball had gone wide, Alan O'Regan had a little collision with Declan O'Keefe, but I think Declan O'Keefe actually made the most of it, and maybe Alan is a little bit unlucky to have his name taken.
Looking at Larry's performance so far in this match, he's had 4 shots on target, on the target I should say, but only 1 has been converted into a score. Murphy held back, but it's Darrow Kinnaid who comes onto it, working very hard in the second. Oh, what a shoulder there on Martin Cronin. Inside towards Mike Frank Russell. Picked up again. O'Kinnaid kept motoring. He's gone down injured. Referee says play on. He wants continuity. Mark O'Connor has it. Pat Hegarty's claiming it. Hegarty chased by Maurice Fitzgerald. Larry Tompkins comes to win that ball. Against O'Shea. That's Barry O'Shea. Now Kieran O'Sullivan, the West Cork man, about to be challenged by Seamus Moynihan. This is Larry Tompkins again. Nobody works harder in the Cork cause ever than Larry Tompkins. One of the major factors why they came good in 1987 and had 4 in a row in 1990. And this time the referee's going back for an elbow, and he's going to take the name of Donald Daly. Meanwhile, there is still an injured player. It's Darrow Kinnaid. You may remember he made a great burst forward, and then he was injured in the follow-up.
Yeah, so making the great burst forward, I think the Cork cornerback came out and actually collided with him, and the referee allowed the play go on, but I think what Kinnaid actually could have hurt his leg pretty badly in that, and I think the referee should call a halt to proceedings and allow treatment to come in for him.
Well, he looks in real distress, and he's not somebody to feign injury. Darrow O'Shea having words, but the other Darrow Kinnaid, still in need of the attention, down in the top of the right position, as it were, down at the Cork Road end. Here's Joe Kavanagh kicking, and he kicks it between the posts, and there's one between them. 4 points for Joe Kavanagh, 3 of them from frees. And it's Kerry 9, Cork 8. 19 minutes nearly gone in this second half. Well, I think it would be interesting now if the referee goes across to his linesman and just gets a report on that incident down at the other end of the field. Liam Brosnan here, who is a wonderful wing forward. We saw him play with such penetration and pace in the under-21 series. People speculated at that stage that he might be in line for one of the wing forwards positions. The team doctor alongside Dara O'Kinnaid, Dave Gainey there on the right, and Aoife Newurry there in the background, the physio. Well, at least he's up on his feet, and he'd been making a fair old inroad into that Cork defence during the early stages of the second half. He's anxious to continue. So Kerry retained the same 15, and they'll be hoping that he manages to play off that injury. Meanwhile, the crowd continue to enjoy the sunshine and the football, I'm sure, as well.
I notice actually over there also Noel Kennelly is starting to warm up, so perhaps there's a half-forward switch going to be made by Kerry fairly soon.
Both of them under 21 stars. That's one-handed fisted by Pat Hegarty, picked up by Joe Kavanagh, who switched out onto the 40 as Larry Tompkins has gone back into full forward. That's wonderfully taken up there by Seamus Moynihan. Jersey pulled by Aidan Dorgan as he got the ball away. But get it away he did to the recovered Darrow Kineda. The nice ball down. Maurice Fitzgerald with balletic style holds onto it, trying to sweep it in, but not successfully this time. Out it comes to Stephen O'Brien. Pat Hegarty bypassing Nicholas Murphy, realising the presence there of Joe Kavanagh. Once again it's Martin Cronin going in. Held inside by Alan O'Regan, trying to go by Stephen Stack. O'Regan has a chance, and he scored! Minutes into the second half, and it's Alan O'Regan who gets the first goal of the game, going by Stephen Stack and planting it in the empty net, and Cork have got in front.
All that stemmed from the far end of the field where Morris had the ball, had a man inside him and just gave the possession away for Brian Corcoran, worked the ball up the field, and again a very opportunist finish, very well played by Alan O'Regan, so really puts the fat in the fire now.
Parlay is going off the Kerry team. Coming on is Liam Brosnan, the flying under-21 player. Now who's going to fly with this match? Donald Daly. Kerry have fallen 2 points behind. 11 points to 9 in real terms. Still about 13 minutes to go. The All-Ireland champions who worked hard at the start of the second half took their chances. Cork failed to take theirs for the first 10 minutes, but that goal by O'Regan may have set them up. Here's Eamon Breen. Downfield, pursued by Ronan McCarthy. Across towards Liam Brosnan now. Here's a player who could trouble Cork, but that time it's tipped away. Martin Cronin got a touch to it, but Brosnan must have got a touch as well. Either that or the linesman misread it.
No, I think the linesman got it right. I think actually the last touch came off young Brosnan.
Well, he's complaining, but I think you're absolutely spot on. Parlayed there in behind the reserve goalkeeper Peter O'Leary. Peter on the right-hand side, but Lade's gone off. He's the man in the middle behind that group. Liam O'Flaherty coming to collect this one. Nobody will fight harder in the colours of the kingdom. Down it goes, and here's a chance, and Kerry got back, and it's Maurice Fitzgerald. A minute after the Cork goal. Nobody, but nobody can be left in space like that, and Fitzgerald shows us how deadly he is. Kerry back in a 1-point lead.
That's an absolute wonderful goal there for Maurice Fitzgerald. A punted ball right into the square, and again the handling is absolutely of top quality. Here he goes, one touch and left-footed beautifully past the goalkeeper. But Mark O'Connor was badly cut out on the wrong side of him there.
O'Flaherty floated it in. Fitzgerald was there. Burkamp-like, he plants it in the back of the Cork net. Well, what a wonderful goal record he's got, Maurice Fitzgerald. That is his 10th goal in championship football. And this is 10th time to face Conor Coonahan's Cork. Who's going to win it now? Kerry with the edge, Kerry with the breeze, Kerry with possession. O'Kineda rifling it in towards Maurice Fitzgerald again. Spills out of the arms of Mark O'Connor. Brian Corcoran is there. Well, remember, Maurice Fitzgerald might have had a goal earlier on in this match. It's Eamon Breen coming back now. When you get on top, you try to finish the opposition off. That's what Kerry are trying to do. Mike Frank was in there after that. This is Donna Wiseman, the substitute in the second half. Kieran O'Sullivan. It started with great pace. It's finishing with great pace. Nicholas Murphy beyond O'Regan, Cork's goal scorer. Kavanagh's after it. Joe Kavanagh looking for the equaliser. Has the chance here, and he kicks it over the bar. 5 points for Joe Kavanagh. We were making the point that this game was crying out for a championship match of genuine quality. This is it. Cork v Kerry, and they're level for the 6th time, thanks to Joe Kavanagh.
Joe's having a tremendous game in there, and in fact I think the two-man full forward line that they're having at the moment are causing a problem to the Kerry defence. And Joe Kavanagh actually has moved out, and he's playing directly on Liam O'Flaherty at the moment, but he's managed to get into scoring positions and getting a little bit more freedom from out there.
Stephen Stack may be the one that the referee is going to speak to on this occasion for jersey pulling. Paddy Russell has been very busy. Declan O'Keefe kicking. Down, beautifully caught. Well, there was the chance for Donald Daly to have finished that move, but planting it into the forward line he fails to do. Martin Cronin instead up towards that two-man full forward line, and that was picked off the ground by Aidan Dorgan. Free downfield. It's Dorgan and O'Regan up front for Cork. Kerry with a conventional three-man attack. This was the pickup. Just about 9 minutes remaining. Level. Seamus Moynihan. Huge one down towards Maurice Fitzgerald. He just gets a touch onto it. This could be critical. Kineda. And that's gone over the bar. The first point of the match by Dara O'Kineda. And it restores Kerry's lead. And Maurice Fitzgerald tipped it on to him. He had support but didn't need it. And now it's Kerry 1-10, Cork 1-9. What a match.
Yeah, those little flicks actually. Morris has flicked twice there and put the ball into the possession of Darren. That's his first score of the game, with a crucial one for Cork.
Young Fionn Murray of St Finbarrs is coming in. He's a corner forward. He may be coming in for Dorgan. His dad, Donal, I know, who teaches in the Carrigaline Community School, will be very proud of this moment. So Aidan Dorgan makes way. Paddy Sheehan there accompanying him off. And it's Murray who's on. Starred at colleges level with Colosh de Creus Ree. This is nicely back here. Daly kicking it back deep, where it's picked up here by O'Dwyer. Coming onto it here is the excellent John Crowley, and Crowley sensibly puts it over the bar to open up a 2-point lead with his 4th point of the day. And there are 7 minutes to go, and it's 1-11 to 1-9. This was swift football, rapid football, started by Daly, but finished decisively by Crowley.
What a second half he's playing. He's fulfilling the potential he's had. And just going back a couple of moments ago to Dara's point, I credited him with scoring for Cork, whereas I should have said, of course, scoring for Kerry.
That's 4 chances for John Crowley, 4 points. What a match. Dara O'Shea, Crowley once again. Brian Corcoran chasing after his shadow. Maurice Fitzgerald, such an elegant player, underlining it again with a simply superb kick from 40 metres out. And that is now a goal and 4 points for the maestro. Delighting the Kerry following. 44,000 people, Cork and Kerry fans will, I think, take pleasure in seeing what was a wonderful kick here from a master footballer. Whether you're for Cork, whether you're for Kerry, there's no denying brilliance. Murphy, but again it's Dara O'Kineda. Has support here. It comes in the shape of Eamon Fitzmaurice. Playing for a place now perhaps at a Munster final against Tipperary. It'll be in Thurles. Last time Kerry versus Tip, 1944. Cork not out of it yet. Kieran O'Sullivan back there to save the day. Pat Hagerty picking this one up from Martin Cronin. A determined look on his face. Inside towards Alan O'Regan. Hagerty again. Cork looking for another score, but it breaks down. And it's Liam O'Flaherty. Down towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Off the blocks there with Mark O'Connor. Causing a few problems for the Cork number 2. And enough to be able to go. Look at how much time he always seems to have at his disposal. And the decision is going against... It's going to go against Cork, is it?
I think he took the ball out over the sideline actually, but the instinctive understanding that the Kerry team have of one another's play is really beginning to manifest itself now.
Paulie O'Shea is over there still having a few words, playing the game like another lively member as he used to in the past in a Kerry number 5 shirt. And Conor Coonan saying no time wasting, come on. Paulie wants to bring on a fresh man. Brendan Walsh, or rather it's Noel Kennelly coming on. Darrow Kinney, the player, is making way. Deep one inside. O'Flaherty, superb! Taking the knocks. Out he comes with it. Fitzmaurice, the youngster. Brilliant run downfield. Other youngsters available like Kennelly. Here's Kennelly, son of the famous Tim, the centre half back in that wonderful team. Breen down towards Mike Frank Russell, challenged by Wiseman, turning onto his right boot and sending a screamer between the posts. 4 points from Mike Frank Russell, and the Munster and All-Ireland champions have been simply devastating. Hit by a goal by O'Regan after 22 minutes, a response within a minute by Fitzgerald, but point after point now. Breen with the outside of the boot, Mike Frank Russell, 4 chances, this is 4th, and that is 4th point.
But the ease that he has in controlling the ball is a joy to watch, apart from his accuracy.
Cork have scored a goal in 9 points. It's not looking like enough. 3.5 minutes left. Kerry, the masters. Cork get the free, but it's Kerry by 4 points. Fionn Murray leaving this one. Well, the selectors are indicating to Kieran O'Sullivan as he comes to take this one that he should try and put it over the bar. That seemed to be the call.
The quality of the Kerry forward play in the second half, their appreciation of space and their movement for one another and their ability to find one another with the ball is just of such a high order, and it's greatly in contrast to the Cork play where they're finding one another, but it's all very intricate short passing style.
O'Sullivan hits it over the bar, and there's now a goal between the teams. That's his first point. There are 2 minutes to go, and a little more perhaps. Kerry terrific in the second half. Their cohesion in attack has been awesome at times. Here they come again. This is Donald Daly linking up here with John Crowley. He has had a starring role to play in this Kerry performance, again stealing a march, and he puts it between the posts, and he's got 5. Well, they may applaud. Kerry fans everywhere are enjoying this afternoon against the old enemy from Cork. What balance, what control, and what accuracy by Crowley. One of his best ever matches, I think, Martin.
Yes, indeed, and he's often been accused of being a diffident player, of not fulfilling the potential he has, but by God, he has taken fire today. He's been magnificent to watch, in particular in the second half.
Well, Kerry may have started the second half slowly in a scoring sense, but they have now really come good. By my tally, they've scored a goal in 8 points in the second half. Cork have scored a goal in 4. Stephen O'Brien towards Murray, trying to get inside. Seamus Moynihan, who faces up to a new opponent. Here's a chance for Cork, and it's dropped down and it's kicked away. Eamon Breen, the one who kicked it away after it was stopped on the line. So close. But overall, full credit to both teams. They played with passion and pace, commitment, wonderful skill, tremendous accuracy. As Joe Kavanagh kicks it in, Kerry look to have the measure of Cork on this particular afternoon. Liam O'Flaherty towards Maurice Fitzgerald, met there instead by Mark O'Connor. Some holding back this time. Free is taken quickly to Ronan McCarthy. Inside the last minute, McCarthy is side 4 points down. Still McCarthy for Cork, bottled up there by 3 Kerry defenders, and in the end an easy one for Declan O'Keefe. But what has he done? He could have kicked it anywhere, very nearly out over his own end line. It's stopped there by Stephen Stack, and Kerry get away with it. That was curious.
Well, I've often heard of an own goal, but that was nearly the first example of an own point I've seen in Gaelic football.
Nicholas Murphy keeping it going inside towards Pat Hegarty. Hegarty still. He's got support from Mark O'Connor. He's delayed giving it. Gives it inside instead towards Joe Kavanagh. Kavanagh hitting the ball and putting it over the bar. And now there's only a goal in it. But we're in injury time at the end of a fabulous match. It's 114 to 111. This was the one a little while ago there. Ionan Murray hitting it in. Watch for the action of the goalkeeper, stopping it on the line, doing well. Kerry with 22 scoring chances, taking 12 of them.
Overall, though, it has been an absolutely spellbinding game.
It's all over. Kerry have won. They go on to another Munster final, this time against Tipperary. It will be in Thurles, and it'll be the first meeting of those sides in the final since 1944. Handshakes all around, selectors, coaches, managers, but Piché in there in the middle must be thrilled with the way his team came back. They were on the rails after 22 minutes when Cork got a goal through O'Regan. But within a minute of that, Maurice Fitzgerald had got his goal, his 10th in championship football. It's disappointment for Larry Tompkins. A point in the first half. His side played with spirit, but not enough in the end, because after 70 minutes, Kerry have won by a goal and 14 to a goal and 11.
And with me, the victorious Kerry manager, Paddy O'Shea. Quite an opening to your retention of the championship.
That's right. Well, I think the good thing about it from our point of view is that we realised that we knew that we were going to have a right tough game here today, and I was very happy with the way the team performed, especially when they came under pressure in the second half. They played very composed football, and you know, they got the scores when it mattered, really.
A critical period in that second half. 2 outstanding goals. Cork scored, but you responded.
That's right. It was a great, magnificent goal from Morris. A true ball. He fielded it beautifully and put it away very well. And also Cork got a very good goal also.
And you also must be happy after all the talk about your forward line. It's not just a one-man forward line today. Your full forward was equally impressive.
Well, it was he fellas that said that. We didn't say it.
Paddy O'Shea, thank you very much.
Happy man there, obviously. It was fascinating to watch that match in the company of the 2 men with me in studio here, Pat and Tony. Tony, commiserations to Cork, obviously, first of all. And really, when you got the goal, I thought this match had turned in your favour.
Yes, we had started off in the second half quite well. We didn't get the scores that we should have got with all the possession we had. But at this stage, Cork were coming forward. A good ball into Alan O'Regan, and he beats his man. And Alan is very good in a one-on-one situation. I think the good goal in the end. The 2 inside forwards for Cork were very good, and they took their scores in the end. But at the end of the day, it was the Kerry full forward line who made the difference.
Excellent goal by O'Regan. Tony nearly broke his knee jumping out of the chair to celebrate that goal, but in the end of the day, Pat Spillane, it was Maurice Fitzgerald who broke Cork hearts once more. Not playing particularly well. He scores a goal and 4 points.
A sure sign of a class football. I mean, the Kerry football line scored 113. Morris had played in Crumps today and scored 1-4, 1-1 from play. Kerry gave an exhibition of what football should be about. Simple, playing the ball direct. Mark O'Connor's called ball watching and low into the corner net. A class. I mean, he's a fabulous footballer. Kerry played the ball simple. They never panicked. While Cork in the second half persisted in hand passing, carrying, whatever like that. Kerry forwards, like I said, it was quick, first time ball, and there was no dilly-dally, no messing about or anything like that. They took their chances as they came. And like I said, you saw 3 young lads coming on for Kerry, 3 under-21s. It'll tell you the stream of talent that's coming through in this county. We could be on top for a while again.
I wouldn't bet against it at all, Pat. Who did we pick as the man of the match in this one?
It was the full forward line between Michael Russell and John Crowley. But when Kerry were playing poorly at the start of the second half, it was John Crowley, my man of the match.
Well, a superb second half by John Crowley. Congratulations to Pat and to Kerry on their victory. Now we must move on quickly because, as you know, we have Offaly and Kilkenny coming up in the Leinster hurling final, and that's after this commercial break.